2020. What a year you were. While it may surprise some of you to learn this, in between the waking nightmare that our everyday existence became, movies actually did come out last year. Whether it was potential blockbusters like Mulan and Wonder Woman 84 finding their way to streaming services, or Christopher Nolan forcing audiences into theatres at gunpoint during a global pandemic.
Time isn't the problem, it's getting out alive is the problem.
The movie industry kept on trucking, despite some pretty seismic changes to how we all consume the media. And if movie making is going to carry on, then by God, so is putting those movies into arbitrary top 10 rankings for the internet to complain about. This is the Culture Cave's Top 10 Movies of 2020. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Take 6.
In some ways, George C. Wolfe's adaptation of the August Wilson stage play of the same name is too dedicated to feeling like the theatre production. But I don't mind that because it makes me feel cultured and smart. This is a film with dialogue that is incredibly snappy, if overwritten. Yet the performances of Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman, his final before passing away, are so good that they give Ma Rainey's Black Bottom enough dynamism and energy to be incredibly compelling. Telling the story of a single day in the life of a blues band as they produce a record in 1920s Chicago, this movie lives and dies on the strength of its monologues, almost all of which are exceptional.
I'm gonna show you how spooked up I was by the white man. I tried my damnedest to cut one on his throat.
The Five Bloods. What starts as a character drama about a group of Vietnam vets returning to the land where they served to search for the remains of their fallen comrade quickly morphs into a tense action thriller with a killer Marvin Gaye heavy soundtrack, as it becomes clear that this is as much about finding a stash of gold they hid with his body as it is about honouring his memory. The Five Bloods is equally exciting and touching, with some great performances from its ensemble cast, which helps prevent the movie from ever forgetting about the human drama which forms the heart of its story, even when people start dying. The Lovebirds. Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani find that their flagging romance is given a shot in the arm when they are accidentally implicated in a conspiracy that involves murder, corrupt cops.
Did you just tell them I'm a congressman? No, wait.
And Eyes Wide Shut style sex cults. A lot hinges on the lead performances in The Lovebirds, so it's a good thing that these two have such strong chemistry.
Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show them what you're worth. Make them go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky, high, high.
Like many comedies in recent years, it's fair to say of Lovebirds that not every joke in the screenplay works, but enough of them do that it remains very, very funny. Onward. When the central premise of a Pixar movie revolves around two teenage elves trying to restore their deceased dad back to life for one day by rediscovering magic in a world that has all but forgotten it ever existed, you know there are going to be tears before bedtime. Onward is a touching, earnest story about brotherly love whose depiction of a formerly magical world is endlessly charming while never straying too far from the mundane to lose its sense of groundedness.
It's just legs.
Freaky. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you took a standard teen slasher movie and tried to figure out a way to make it work with a Freaky Friday subplot? Me neither. Until Freaky came along and decided to body swap the hell out of the murderous Vince Vaughn and the struggling high schooler Catherine Newton via a magical dagger. It's funny, it's very violent, and although it forgets that it's supposed to be a horror movie from time to time, it's always tremendously entertaining. The Assistant. Take the Harvey Weinstein sexual assault scandals of 2019, and turn it into a sort of horror movie about a low-level assistant at a production company whose hopes and dreams frequently and horrifically come up against her moral obligation to say something about the troubling behaviour of her boss. We never see him or the results of his sweaty-handed advances, but everyone in the company is in on it and treats the brilliant Julia Gardner like a troublemaker when she mentions it.
And here you are sitting in my office, stressed out, jealous of some new assistant who's getting more attention than you.
I'm not jealous. I was worried for this girl.
She's a woman.
This is a nightmarishly real and mundane story, brilliantly realised. Happiest season. When Mackenzie Davis invites her girlfriend, Kristen Stewart, home for the holidays, only to announce midway through the journey that she isn't out to her family, it's kind of a red flag for the relationship. Throw in ex-boyfriends, secret ex-girlfriends, Alison Brie and Mary Holland as diametrically opposed siblings, and her father's political campaign, and you might be forgiven for thinking that this is some kind of madcap comedy.
You pump. Sorry? Weights.
Oh.
Yeah.
And while it is funny at times, this is really a romantic drama, with touching performances making the movie an engaging, sentimental affair. Emma. Coquettish ladies, scandalous romances, will theys and won't theys, Anya Taylor-Joy being this year's Florence Pugh, Emma is a delight. While it is sadly lacking the bizarre light sci-fi outfit selection technology of modern retelling Clueless,
as if.
Autumn de Wilde is still able to deliver the best version of this story to date, with an adapted screenplay that captures all of the scintillating wit of the book and stunning pastel-hued photography from Christopher Blaufeld. Extraction. If John Wick taught us anything, it's that long, wide-angle takes of people utterly kicking the shit out of each other are still awesome. Sam Hargrave is another member of the stuntmen-turned-director club whose directorial debut, Extraction, takes the work done by the man at the wheel of the Wick franchise, Chad Stahelski, and tweaks it a little. Not content with singing from the same 80s Hong Kong action cinema-inspired hymn sheet as Stahelski, and to be clear, it's a hell of a hymn sheet, Hargrave ups the ante by asking one simple question. What if Chris Hemsworth suplexed a guy and then kicked a bunch of kids really hard in this one too? The Invisible Man. Elizabeth Moss, everyone's favourite actress in the person so talented we just pretend they aren't a Scientologist category, turns in a stunning performance in Lee Wannell's twist on the 1933 horror classic. Wannell brilliantly reframes the story to focus on the abusive relationship between Moss and a possessive tech billionaire that she desperately tries to escape. Cinematographer Stefan Duccio's phenomenal use of negative space, combined with the long, lingering shots on seemingly empty rooms, will always have you wondering, is there someone else in this room? And with the focus of the narrative shifting from the schlocky universal monster of the original to the woman trapped in his life, this becomes a tense and often frightening depiction of a person's descent into madness as those around her refuse to accept that she is being stalked by her supposedly dead ex-boyfriend. With loved ones refusing to acknowledge that they too are in danger and no one left to rely on but herself, The Invisible Man ramps up to a thrilling conclusion. This is both a fantastic horror movie and a phenomenal metaphor for an abusive relationship, and well worth your time. And there you have it, the Culture Cave's top 10 movies of 2020. We hope you had a good year and hope you'll join us for more videos like this in 2021. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this list and what movies you enjoyed this year, and be sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss all of the exciting upcoming content right here on the Culture Cave.